Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cheap Seats Network. You are hanging out with yours truly, Andrew, here of course in my room as always, and yes, it is another video of me being alone. Everybody is still basically on self-isolation, quarantine, and all that good stuff. Of course, hoping you are staying safe as well. Now we're bringing something new to the channel. When we created the channel, we promised basically we're going to cover anything and everything that we had an interest in. And well, me, out of the group of people who you're going to meet on the channel over time, I'm a big fan of wrestling. Professional wrestling, mainly the WWE and NXT. I've been a fan since I was a child. It has stuck with me into my 20s now, and I thought, why not cover it? I mean, we don't have a lot in the sports world and really just anything going on in terms of positivity to talk about, so I thought, let's cover Wrestlemania. It's too big for one night. We all know that by now if you have been following the WWE, but we are going to cover night 1 of Wrestlemania. Then we'll also cover night 2 with a video that hopefully will be up tomorrow as well. So before you watch night 2 on the Sunday, I'm going to give you this one to kind of digest everything that happened last night during night 1. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. By the way, as we are doing this video, you can see I got a Adam Cole shirt on. Big fan of Adam Cole. Too bad there's no NXT TakeOver this week. But still, nonetheless, we are getting 2 nights of WrestleMania. Now, I gotta say this. Night 1 of WrestleMania, I was going in, I was excited, I always am for Mania, but I didn't know what to expect. Because obviously, there's no live crowd. Apparently, it was gonna be pre-recorded. And I kind of went in with not really any expectations. I was like, you know what? I just hope it's good. And I gotta say this, I was genuinely impressed with how good Night 1 went. Now, I'm not being a WWE fanboy by any means. I just think that the wrestlers, everybody, made the best of the situation that they were in last night, and it honestly made me very happy to see that. So I felt pretty good watching the whole ordeal and the whole thing, so I'm glad that it went the way it did for the most part. But let's kind of dive into it and talk about it. Now, to start things off, we had the kickoff match on the pre-show, which featured 2 very good technical wrestlers in Cesaro and Drew Gulak. Now, I usually don't cover kickoff matches. I barely watch kickoff matches, but again, it was WrestleMania, so I had to go ahead and check it out. And you know what? The match was actually pretty good. It was hard-hitting. It was pretty quick-paced. It was just a quick, good, I think, opening match. And Cesaro actually gets a singles win over Gulak. Now, I like this whole thing that they're doing with Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak, then Cesaro, Nakamura, and Sami Zayn. So nonetheless, I think the match was actually really solid for a kickoff match, quick-paced, as I mentioned, and hard-hitting. Now, I gotta say this, without the crowd there, and the superstars having to really play to the crowd, it's kind of nice, because a lot of the matches I realized were very quick-paced and hard-hitting. And I think because there was no crowd, obviously, you hear the amplification of a lot of the hits and the bumps that they take, and it makes it feel a little more almost real. I don't really know what the right word is, but it was fun to watch overall with WrestleMania. All right, let's move on now. We got the Women's Tag Team Championship, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, up against the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. And of course, in this one, we seen Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross regain the Women's Tag Team Championship. And I gotta say this was the best work I think I have seen in the Women's Tag Team division, God, since maybe the belt came in. I don't know, I really liked everything about this match. I thought they made everyone look good. Alexa Bliss, to me, was a little bit quiet, but she still did her part. And I'm a fan of Alexa. I think she is underrated, and I think she is good. But Nikki Cross looked like an absolute star in this whole match. And I loved every second of it because she deserves it. They made her be the main focal point of her team, kind of the strong one, everything, and she looked good. Asuka and Kairi Sane, they looked good, but I think this is the right move going forward. Give Bliss and Cross the tag team titles, and now with Asuka and Kairi, you can maybe break them up, have them go into singles competition, go after the Raw or SmackDown Women's title, something like that. I think it's a good move for everybody involved all around. After what I thought was a very good opener, we did have Elias versus King Corbin. I thought maybe Gronk was going to get involved in this match because they kept on playing on, oh, Gronkowski made this match, he made this match, and then Elias was injured. But Elias comes out, smacks Corbin with the guitar. They have a Friday night SmackDown match, and Elias actually gets the win. I think the story of this one was the female referee. She was phenomenal. I thought she did her job perfectly. But nonetheless, not much else to say with this match other than, hey, Elias got a WrestleMania victory. So good on him. I hope this is for bigger things to come. He deserves a lot more, especially when he was the Drifter. The dude was phenomenal. Up next, one of the most anticipated matches was Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, this match I was very excited for. It was the one that had, obviously, I would say, the most build, other than Drew and Brock and Edge and Randy Orton, and even maybe AJ Undertaker. It was up there. It was one of the most built ones, probably with those other 3 matches. But going into this one, I was like, man, I don't know what to expect, because I like Shayna Baszler. She's a slow, methodical wrestler, and it's good with a crowd because people hate it because she's a heel. So I was thinking, how is this going to go without a crowd? How is she going to be? And she really switched it up. She was hard-hitting. She was physical. It was kind of that cage fighter mentality, and I really liked it. Now, the ending of this match sucked to me. It was terrible the way Becky kind of just rolled her up and won. I think it made Shayna look a little bit weak. I personally would have had Shayna Baszler. I think more so if there was a crowd in this match, I would have had Shayna Baszler win the match via submission and Becky pass out. She didn't have to tap, but if she passed out, I think it would have been wicked. Now, nonetheless, I think they might be saving the title change for an actual live crowd. That's just my thoughts, but overall, the match itself was really good. I think it was the best we've seen Becky, probably since, Royal Rumble when she faced Asuka. And for Shayna, this was one of her best, I think, one-on-one matches because she looked like a monster, just like she did in the Elimination Chamber. I thought everything about the match was booked well. I would have maybe had it go a little bit longer, and I would have changed the ending. I was not a fan of the roll-up and kind of win for Becky. Other than that, though, I think it was a very solid match. Up next, we had the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan, and in a surprising turn of events, Sami Zayn wins. Now, this match I thought was going to go the complete opposite way. I thought it was going to be a technical wrestling masterpiece, something we've come to expect of these two guys. But what ended up happening was we got a hard-hitting match. Again, it was very hard-hitting. It was a little bit different and weird. I think for these two guys, it wasn't like a 5-star match, but it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. There was moments in the match that I thought were a little bit, but overall, I liked it. I think it was fine. I think it was fine for the circumstances that they were working. Again, the finish of the match, a little bit weird, considering it's this, your typical, heel guys outnumber and distract Daniel Bryan. You would think he'd know better by now, considering how long he's been in the ring. But, overall, Sami Zayn is still the Intercontinental Champion, so I think it's a win-lose situation. So overall, I don't think all is too bad. Again, another solid match, complete opposite of what we thought we were going to get, I think, in that match. But overall, it was good. It was a lot of fun to watch. Now, the next match was one that I didn't know how to feel, but at the same time, I was weirdly excited, if that makes any sense. It was the Triple Threat Ladder Match Singles Tag Team Championship. Yeah, figure that one out. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, it was Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, and one of the Usos, Jimmy Uso, in a triple threat ladder match for both the tag team titles. This was because Miz did pull out of WrestleMania due to the coronavirus concerns, and there was rumors that he may have been sick, so they had to hold him off the card. They weren't going to give Morrison a new partner or anything, so they did this. And this match was great. It was arguably the match of the night. You put 3 guys with their athleticism and their craziness into a match. I think you could have put any of the Usos in this match. It would have been great. Kofi, we all know he is great for basically any spot. And the athleticism of John Morrison, it was a fun match. Morrison looked like the Morrison that we had been seeing in the indies, like from Lucha Underground, from TNA, from basically everywhere. He looked awesome throughout the whole match. Definitely one of his best performances in recent memory. Kofi had a lot of good spots, the one between the ladder where they caught him. And of course, the Uso brother, he looked great as well. Jimmy Uso, I'm going to remember that by the end of this. But again, they all look good. And then, weird finish. Now the finish, you know what? It was creative. I am going to say that. Sure, call me controversial, call me whatever you want. The finish was creative. Because here's the thing. If we had a plain old finish of, let's say, Morrison grabbing it, people would have complained. They would have said, oh man, Miz and Morrison are going to keep the titles. If Kofi just grabbed it, they'd say, oh man, The New Day's gonna win again? Jimmy grabbed it. The Usos are champs again. Who are they gonna feud next? You know what? It was fine. They all grabbed it, and John took the titles and fell off with them. This kind of opens up that this feud and everything is not over, which is fine because these are literally, arguably, 3 of the best tag teams in the world. Yes, Miz and Morrison are up there, a lot because John Morrison, but still, Miz's mic work is phenomenal. The New Day is still great. The Usos, arguably the best. So I am totally okay with this. Again, it was a weird finish, but I'm totally fine with it, man. Up next, we had Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins in a no disqualification match. Well, what started as a normal match, and then Seth hits Kevin Owens, gets disqualified, and I honestly thought when it happened, I go, there is no chance in hell, Vince McMahon music cues, that they were going to end a WrestleMania match via DQ. I was honestly kind of pissed off. I was like, there's no way. I'm like, if this is how this feud is supposed to keep on going and dragging on, I'm gonna be upset. Kevin grabs the mic, swears, I don't want to get demonetized in the future, and he ends up just kind of going off at him. They come back, they have a no DQ match, turns into a good one. The singles match itself before the DQ was good. I mean, it's what you expect out of Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. It was a great wrestling match. The no DQ part was wild. Kevin Owens' bump off the WrestleMania sign. The dude is turning into an absolute freak in WWE, and I am all for it. Now, with this match happening, I thought Seth Rollins was going to get the win, and they were going to make Kevin look bad. I'm very happy Kevin technically won twice, I guess. But nonetheless, I hope that this leads to Kevin Owens against Drew McIntyre for the Universal title or the WWE title, whatever one it is at this point down the line. I think that would be a fun feud. The promo work from Kevin, I think the matches himself with Drew would be very good. So I'm kind of hoping they go that route because Kevin Owens deserves it. He has been working his ass off as of late, and this match was further proof of that. Up next, the match we had all been waiting for, the Universal Championship, Braun Strowman versus Goldberg. Of course, was supposed to be Roman Reigns, but he had to step out. For those of you who don't know why Roman was on the match, it was being reported due to the coronavirus and him being a survivor, of course, of leukemia and cancer. His immune system is very weak because of all the things that he's gone through for cancer treatment. So he didn't want to take any risks. He basically spoke with his family, his wife and everything, and they saw it in his best interest to stay home until things do get better. WWE granted that wish. Basically, they did with any wrestler who didn't feel safe. They allowed them to take the time off right now. And Strowman got to step in. And this match was the epitome of playing a WWE video game, turning on all the finishers on the max, and just spamming triangle, L1, depending on which one you played. I think Here Comes the Pain was L1. That was my favorite. But it was Goldberg, spear, Strowman, power slam, reverse jackhammer, power slam. And Braun Strowman wins? And yeah, Strowman beats Goldberg. I mean, this is 2 years too late, I think, for Braun. I mean, this dude was at the top of the mountain for a very long time, and they didn't even give him any title. But I'm happy at the same time because Goldberg hopefully is gone for good. The only thing I want to see Goldberg come back and do is things like he did at the one SummerSlam, when he fought a guy like Dolph Ziggler and just killed him. That stuff is fine to me, but keep him away from any title. He doesn't need them. He's a retired legend. The titles mean nothing to him. He's also an unsafe worker. I mean, he's literally having trouble picking guys up. So leave it. Let Goldberg go away now. This is perfect for Braun. This sets up when Roman comes back, we get another classic rivalry probably between Roman and Braun Strowman, or you have other guys in the fold on SmackDown who maybe make that leap to go after Braun even while Roman is out. So nonetheless, I am excited for this. I mean, again, it feels weird considering there was no build and now Braun Strowman's the Universal Champion. Nonetheless, he's champ. He has deserved it for a long time. It's going to be a bit of a weird ride, I think, from here on out, but still, nonetheless, I'm happy he won it. The match was just a 2K dream match of just finisher, pin, done. That's it. And the main event of the night put just a beautiful, I think, cap and cherry on the ice cream sundae. It was the Boneyard match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker. This match was everything that I think we wanted. It was insane, it was stupid, it was crazy, it was a little bit dumb, but that's what made it perfect. One of my friends actually described it as a 90s horror movie. And I said, yeah, and that's what made it so good. If you give me these cinematic things with The Undertaker, I think he could still go another few years. Honestly, you know, you keep him away from the ring and you do kind of gimmicky stuff like this, he looked good. His acting was pretty funny, but it was good. Give this man an Oscar. Give him all the awards, because he deserved it. He was great. AJ played the part as well against Taker perfectly. Like, when they did the whole thing of Taker, or AJ Styles on the tractor, Undertaker pops up behind him. Then they have the Druids and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Then the choke slam through the roof onto the grave. I don't know, it was so much chaos, from using shovels, tombstones, rocks, everything. That it was fun. It made for a good ending to WrestleMania, and I left with a smile on my face, because I was like, this was stupid, but it was awesome at the same time. It had that perfect amount of craziness that made it so good, and I think made this WrestleMania quite worth it. Again, I'm going to reiterate, I didn't mind the first night of WrestleMania. I thought it was actually pretty good. Of course, it's not up there, but it was good. Under the circumstances of what they had, I have zero gripes and zero issues with it. Just fully. So, take it as is. Now, I think that covers most of night one. Again, I liked it. Let me know your thoughts, comment section down below, and leave a like on this video, and subscribe if you are new. We do have night 2 going on today on Sunday, and of course, over on Monday, I will have the review of WrestleMania Night 2. Too big for one night, as they keep reminding us. Once again, though, I am Andrew from the Cheap Seats Network. Thank you as always for tuning in. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on WrestleMania Night 1. Have a great day, and of course, stay safe out there.